Imagine one hormone in your body quietly controlling your fat storage, your energy levels, and even your mood every single day without you ever knowing. Most people think of cortisol only as the stress hormone, but Harvard Medical School researchers and doctors at the Mayo Clinic have confirmed that this powerful hormone is essential for survival and affects nearly every major system in your body, from metabolism and immunity to brain function and sleep rhythms. But here's the catch. When cortisol goes out of balance, staying too high or dipping too low for too long, it doesn't just make you tired. Chronic dysregulation has been linked in multiple PubMed-indexed studies to memory problems, mood changes, unexplained weight gain, and even long-term metabolic and cardiovascular issues. Today, we're going to break down exactly how cortisol works, why so many people struggle with it without realizing it, and what science says you can do to take back control. Staying tuned, what you learn in the next few minutes could change how you think about your body and your health forever. We uncover real, science-backed answers for life. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and tell me in the comments. Now that you understand how cortisol quietly influences your body from the very first second of today's video, let's take a step deeper and talk about why this hormone matters more than most people realize. Cortisol isn't just a simple stress hormone. It's a central regulator of the body's most essential systems, and research from leading institutions like the Endocrine Society and Cleveland Clinic clearly shows this. Cortisol is produced by your adrenal glands, the small but powerful glands that sit right on top of your kidneys. These glands continuously release cortisol into your bloodstream throughout the day, and the way they do it is tightly controlled by a complex feedback loop called the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. This system helps your body respond to stress, manage energy, and regulate internal balance, or homeostasis. In healthy amounts, cortisol helps keep your metabolism running smoothly, supports mental focus and memory consolidation, and plays a significant role in your sleep-wake cycle. For example, cortisol levels naturally peak in the morning to help you wake up alert, then taper off in the evening to prepare your body for sleep, a rhythm confirmed across multiple clinical studies. But when cortisol remains too high or too low for extended periods, a pattern seen in chronic stress or endocrine imbalance trouble can start. Excess cortisol is linked with weight gain, particularly around the belly, fatigue that won't go away, persistent anxiety, and disrupted sleep cycles that leave you feeling wired at night and drained by day. These effects are not just anecdotal. They're documented in research from major medical organizations, including the Endocrine Society. So before we move on, just remember this. Cortisol isn't your enemy. It's essential. But when it goes out of balance, it impacts nearly every major function of your body and mind. That's why understanding it is the first step toward reclaiming your health. Now that we've seen why cortisol matters, let's talk about what this hormone actually does in your body, because it's far more than just a stress chemical. Cortisol is produced by your adrenal glands through a complex system called the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and it's involved in a wide range of vital functions that keep you alive and functioning at your best. According to peer-reviewed physiology research, cortisol plays a central role in regulating blood sugar levels, managing inflammation, supporting brain function, and even helping maintain healthy blood pressure and cardiovascular readiness. One of the most critical things cortisol does is help regulate metabolism, meaning it helps your body convert proteins, fats, and carbohydrates into usable energy. This action is essential when your body needs fuel during physical activity, daily tasks, or even the stressors of everyday life. Harvard researchers have also confirmed that cortisol levels follow a predictable pattern throughout the day, known as a circadian rhythm, reaching their highest point in the morning to help boost alertness and energy as you wake up. Then levels naturally decline through the afternoon and evening to support rest and recovery. Beyond metabolism, cortisol has powerful anti-inflammatory effects. It helps suppress excessive inflammation and modulates your immune system so that your body doesn't overreact to injuries or threats. In medical practice, Synthetic forms of cortisol corticosteroids are even used therapeutically to treat autoimmune and inflammatory conditions because of this effect. Cortisol also directly affects your brain and nervous system. It has receptors in key memory and emotion processing regions like the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, where it influences memory consolidation, focus, and mood regulation. Research shows that fluctuations in cortisol, especially through its circadian cycle, help synchronize brain processes with daily demands. Finally, this hormone plays a role in blood pressure regulation by helping maintain vascular tone and fluid balance. Another reason why balanced cortisol levels are crucial for overall cardiovascular and metabolic health. In short, cortisol is essential for life. It helps your body manage energy, inflammation, brain function, and daily physiological rhythms. And because it touches so many systems at once, even small disruptions in its pattern can ripple across your entire body, a topic we'll explore next. At this point, you already know cortisol has many essential roles in your body, but what happens when it stops being balanced? The trouble isn't cortisol itself, it's how long and how often your levels stay too high or too low. Medical centers like Stony Brook Medicine make it clear. Short bursts of cortisol in response to occasional stress are normal and helpful, but chronic high levels are what triggers serious health problems. When cortisol is elevated over weeks or months, often due to ongoing stress, it doesn't just make you feel frazzled. It changes how your metabolism works. The hormone signals your body to store more fat, especially in the abdomen, which research shows is strongly linked with obesity, insulin resistance, and metabolic issues that raise the risk of type 2 diabetes. Sleep is another major casualty of persistent high cortisol. Normally, cortisol drops in the evening, so your body can enter deeper, restorative sleep. But when levels stay high either from stress or disrupted circadian rhythm, it can fragment your sleep cycles and reduce the amount of slow-wave sleep, the stage linked directly to memory consolidation and brain repair. Clinical evidence even shows that people with endocrine disorders like Addison's disease, where cortisol rhythms are altered, suffer from poor sleep quality and impaired memory performance. The immune system also feels the impact. Although cortisol has natural anti-inflammatory effects, chronically high cortisol weakens immune defenses, making you more susceptible to infections and slowing recovery. Stony Brook Medicine Health. And your brain isn't immune either. Sustained cortisol elevation is associated with difficulties in learning, mood regulation, and even structural changes in areas like the hippocampus. On the opposite end, low cortisol levels, such as those seen in adrenal insufficiency, bring their own problems. When the adrenal glands aren't producing enough cortisol, patients often experience persistent fatigue, dizziness, and low blood pressure symptoms that can severely limit daily function and quality of life. What this tells us is simple. Cortisol isn't good or bad on its own. Balance is everything. Too much or too little, and the systems it supports begin to falter, affecting your metabolism, sleep, immunity, and overall energy. And that's exactly what we'll break down in the next segments with steps you can take to restore that balance. Now let's bring cortisol into the context of your everyday life. Most of us have experienced late-night cravings, sudden fatigue, or brain fog after a stressful day. And science shows cortisol is often the hidden culprit. Stress triggers spikes in cortisol, which release glucose into your bloodstream for quick energy. While this response is useful in short bursts, chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, signaling the body to store fat, particularly around the abdomen, and disrupts normal energy cycles. These hormonal spikes also affect your brain, impairing focus, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation. Harvard Medical School research emphasizes that understanding how cortisol fluctuates daily can help explain why stress management isn't just a wellness trend. It's essential for maintaining energy, controlling weight, and boosting mental clarity. By seeing cortisol as a daily regulator rather than just a stress hormone, we can start to make small but effective changes that improve our metabolism, sleep, and cognitive performance. the kind of changes that compound over time to enhance overall health. So, how can we keep cortisol in a healthy balance? Research from the Mayo Clinic and multiple PubMed-indexed studies highlight evidence-based strategies that regulate cortisol naturally and support overall well-being. First, prioritize sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours each night to maintain cortisol's natural circadian rhythm. Poor sleep is one of the fastest ways to disrupt hormone cycles. Next, exercise moderately. Activities like walking, yoga, or swimming help regulate cortisol, whereas overtraining can elevate it. Your diet matters too. Focus on whole foods, lean proteins, fiber, and healthy fats while limiting added sugars and refined carbs, which can spike blood sugar and disrupt cortisol balance. Stress management techniques, such as meditation, controlled breathing, and engaging hobbies can lower cortisol spikes, while social connection, maintaining positive relationships, buffers stress effects on the body. By implementing these strategies consistently, you can support balanced cortisol levels, protect metabolism, enhance energy, and improve mental clarity, giving you a stronger foundation for long-term health. As we wrap up the science behind cortisol, it's important to recognize the signs that your hormone levels might be out of balance. Persistent fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, unexpected weight gain around the abdomen, mood swings, and trouble sleeping are all common indicators. Harvard Medical School and the Endocrine Society highlight that these symptoms often appear subtly and progressively, making early recognition critical. Low cortisol, often seen in adrenal insufficiency, may present as dizziness, lightheadedness, and low blood pressure, while chronically high cortisol may trigger anxiety, irritability, and memory difficulties. By paying attention to these signals and consulting a qualified healthcare professional early, you can take steps to restore balance, protect your metabolism, improve sleep, and maintain overall well-being. Awareness is the first step toward control, and the next segments will show how to act on this knowledge effectively. Cortisol truly is your body's secret controller, influencing your energy, mood, metabolism, and fat storage, without most people even realizing it. By understanding how it works and taking steps to keep it balanced, you can regain control over your health, improve mental clarity, and protect your long-term well-being. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit.